Good day, dear students. We will start lecture number 5. So we have a recap of the last class. What we learned? We learned the various definition of blockchain technology. We learned the various properties, and we also saw the network view of blockchain, how it looks from the users, the nodes, and the various state machine, consensus blocks, the various transactions, how they are connected in a distributed manner in a peer-to-peer network. Finally, there is an internet. So this all we learned in the last class. We also learned the generic structure of a block. Since from the first class we are seeing this block diagram. So there are various blocks, and these blocks are containing the information. So today we'll see the generic elements of a blockchain. We will see today addresses, transactions, blocks, peer-to-peer network, scripting or programming language, virtual machine, state machine, the nodes, the smart contract. So first we will see the generic elements of a blockchain. The structure of generic blockchain can be visualized with the help of following diagram. The structure can be visualized by seeing this block diagram. We will see the different blocks, how they are connected. As we all know, the first block, the mother block, is called the genesis block. After that, there are n number of blocks, they are connected. So this is given in your textbook, and when I referred some other books, we have got a more clear picture of the blocks. Means this is a block 0, this is block 1, this is block 2. What information is stored in the blocks? It has got index is 0. For every transaction to happen, we have got a timestamp. We can see the timestamp here. So different timestamps for different blocks. So it records the time. The next is the data. The fourth is the hash. As we all know, that is the hash functions are there. They are used in the cryptography. And there is something like previous hash. So the value which is being stored here, that we can see here, the previous value is stored here. This previous value of block 2, it is the block 2, it stores the value from the previous block. This is the structure of generic block diagram. We will see each and every terms in this class. So what is an address? Addresses are unique identifiers used in a blockchain transaction to denote senders and recipients. What are addresses? Addresses are unique identifiers used in a blockchain transaction to denote senders and recipients. There should be address now. If I want to go somewhere, if I want to come, so there should be some address. That are the unique identifiers. An address is usually a public key or derived from a public key. While addresses can be reused by the same user, addresses themselves are unique. So you might be knowing about what is a public key. My email ID is a public key, isn't it? So if I will give to so many people that if you want to contact me, you can contact me with this public key. But whatever password I give and open my inbox, that is a private key. So in practice, however, a single user may not use the same address again and generate a new one for each transaction. This newly created address will be unique. So obviously, every address should be unique. So a good practice to generate new addresses. A good practice is for users to generate a new address for each transaction in order to avoid linking transaction to the common owner, thus preventing identification. So it is a good practice to generate a new address for each transaction. So what is a transaction? A transaction is a fundamental unit of blockchain. A transaction represents a transfer of value from one address to another. See, it is very important. What it tells? A transaction is the fundamental unit of a blockchain. A transaction represents a transfer of value from one address to another. It is a fundamental unit of blockchain. Next, we will see what is a block. A block is composed of multiple transactions and other elements such as the previous block hash, the hash pointer. We have seen in the last diagram, there is one pointer, it points to the previous hash, the timestamp and nonce. Nonce is a unique number generated. So what is a block? A block is composed of multiple transactions and other elements such as previous block hash, the pointer, the timestamp and nonce. We can see here. See, this block has got all the information. So what is next? We will see peer-to-peer network. As the name implies, a peer-to-peer network is a network topology wherein all peers can communicate with each other and send and receive messages. We all know this concept is from the distributed system where one node is connected to another node. The peer-to-peer network is a network topology wherein all peers can communicate with each other that have the privilege of sending and receiving messages. Then we will see what is scripting or programming language. For anything to run, the backend is a scripting. Scripts or programs perform various operations on a transaction in order to facilitate various functions. For example, in Bitcoin, transaction scripts are predefined in a language called script. Generally, we call it as language as a script, which consists of a set of commands that allow nodes to transfer tokens from one address to another. Script is a limited language. Now, where we are switching? Script is a limited language, however, in the same sense that it only allows essential operations that are necessary for executing transaction. But it does not allow for arbitrary program development. So, in simple words, Turing complete language. See, this is one more new term. We will see in the later classes. We will explain it what it is. Turing complete language means that it can perform any computation. It is named after Alan Turing, the person, the scientist who developed this Turing machine. After Alan Turing, who developed the idea of Turing machine that can run any algorithm, however complex. As we all know, this Bitcoin or this blockchain transactions are very much complex. So there is a Turing complete language. There is a Turing language which is going to take care of all these computations. We will see in the next classes that when we call it as a complete, whether it is a complete language, in what way the advantages are there, limitations are there. Turing language needs loops and branching capability to perform complex computation. So it should have the branching capability to perform complex computation. Next, we will see the virtual machine. Virtual machine, it is an extension of transaction script introduced earlier. A virtual machine allows Turing complete code to be run on a blockchain. As smart contracts, we will see in the next slide. A virtual machine allows Turing complete code to run on a blockchain, whereas a transaction script is limited in its operation. However, virtual machines are not available on all blockchain. As we all know, there is a JVM, Java Virtual Machine, isn't it? Why it is being used? Same concept here also. There is something like virtual machine which allows us the Turing complete code, whatever code we are writing, that will be running in this virtual machine. A virtual machine allows Turing complete code to be run on a blockchain. Whereas when we come to this transaction script, it is just limited to its operation. Transaction script is some code we write, some code we just run it. But whereas allows the Turing complete code is being run in the virtual machine. Whereas the transaction script is limited in its operation. Various blockchains use virtual machines to run programs such as Ethereum virtual machine, EVM. See here, EVM doesn't mean that electronic voting machine. It is Ethereum virtual machine and chain virtual machine, CVM. EVM is used in Ethereum blockchain. We will see all these different types of blockchain in the next classes. While CVM, that is chain virtual machine, is a virtual machine developed and used in an enterprise grade blockchain called chain core. So various machines are there. EVM machine and CVM machine are famous. They are being used extensively. Next we will see what is a state machine. A blockchain can be viewed as a state transition mechanism whereby a state is modified from its initial form to the next one and eventually to a final form by nodes on the blockchain network as a result of transaction execution, validation and finalization process. So what is a state machine? A blockchain can be used as a state transition mechanism. Obviously, isn't it? We are taking the data, we are storing the data, and that data, it takes care about its hash, its timestamp, its addresses. So what it does, whereby a state is modified from its initial form to next one and eventually to a final form by nodes. There they come to the final form on the blockchain network as a result of how the data is being stored because of these transactions, the execution, validation and finalization process. Sir, I am taking class. So what is a node? A node in a blockchain network performs various functions depending on the role that it takes on. So since from first class itself we are learning about what is a node, what is a block and what is a node. A node in a blockchain network performs various functions depending on role that it takes on. A node can propose and validate transaction and perform mining to facilitate consensus and secure the blockchain. This goal is achieved by a following consensus protocol, most commonly that is POW, proof of work. This we studied in the earlier classes. So a node can propose and validate transactions and perform mining to facilitate consensus and secure the blockchain. Nodes can also perform other functions such as simple payment, verification, that are lightweight nodes, validation and many other functions depending on type of blockchain used and the role assigned to the node. Nodes also perform a transaction signing function. Transactions are first created by nodes and then also digitally signed by nodes using private keys as proof that they are legitimate owner of the asset that they wish to transfer someone else on the blockchain network. So node also perform a transaction signing function. So all these we will see in the next classes in a detail. The last subtopic is smart contract. These programs run on top of blockchain and encapsulate the business logic to be executed when certain conditions are met. These programs are enforceable and automatically executable. What is this smart contract in blockchain technology? These programs run on top of blockchain and encapsulate the business logic to be executed when certain conditions are met. These programs are enforceable and automatically executable. The smart contract feature is not available on all blockchain platforms, but it is now becoming a very desirable feature due to the flexibility and power that it provides to the blockchain application. Smart contracts have many use cases including but not limited to identity management, capital markets and market trade finance and record management, insurance and e-governance.